What's up guys, it's DK Wrestler here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the best Funko Pops from the MCU.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
So how I'm going to be doing this video today is that I'm going to go through the entire list of every MCU film starting out with 2008's Iron Man and work my way up until essentially the newest movie, even if it hasn't released yet, that Funko has made pops for, which in this case we are doing for today's video would be Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And I'm going to go through each movie and discuss my favorite Funko Pop from that MCU film. So kicking off with 2008's Iron Man, I had chosen the Iron Man Mark I suit. Now this was a 2018 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. This was actually not made when the movie was first released because in 2008, Funko had not even created pops. They didn't actually create them until 2010. We had to wait until the set that this pop was involved with, which is the Marvel Studios first 10-year set in 2018, and it's the only pop involved with this movie, as this was the Iron Man suit that Tony Stark would have worn before the whole incident happened in the Iron Man movie. Next up would be 2008's The Incredible Hulk, which actually there are no Funko Pops for this movie. Technically, you can kind of count maybe the Funko Shop exclusive Blacklight Hulk or even the Gold Chrome Hulk from that very same set that I discussed about with that Iron Man Mark I suit. However, that exact same molding, and I'm being very specific with this, that exact same molding of that Hulk figure comes from the Avengers Age of Ultron lineup, which we will get to that movie in a little bit, but I didn't want to count that molding from that movie because technically I would count that as an Avengers Age of Ultron Funko Pop. Next up would be 2010's Iron Man 2, and I had chosen the Marvel Collector's Corps exclusive Whiplash vs. Iron Man moments. Once again, this is the only Funko Pop involved in Iron Man 2 technically, because of the fact that when this movie was released, Funko had just started creating pops, and this was created once again for that first 10 years Marvel Studios set in 2018, which I really love the detail involved with this design. Moving on to 2011's Thor, in which the Funko Pop I had chosen here is Loki. Now, you can definitely see that Funko Pops were a little bit weird in terms of design because Funko Pops were only existing for 1 year, and there were only 2 pops involved with the set, one being the Thor pop involved with the set, and then Loki, and I thought, obviously, the Loki one looks better, especially because the design of the Thor just looks very awkward for the time that it was made in. Next up is 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger, and the Funko Pop I had chosen here is the Red Skull versus Captain America movie moments. I really enjoy the way this Funko Pop looks. Obviously, there have been some newer pops that came out for this movie, especially with the Entertainment Earth exclusive Steve Rogers with the shield, but I thought that this movie moments was really cool, especially because you have a cool base involving the grating that they're standing on. You have both the pops of Red Skull and Captain America, which had huge improvements as terms to the detail of the way the pops look compared to their original sculpts from either the original comics or if they had done Funko Pops for that movie specifically in 2011. Next up is 2012's The Avengers, which the pop I had chosen here is the Walgreens exclusive Hulk smashing Loki movie moments. This is a really cool scene that was made into Funko Pop form, and there were a lot of candidates for the Avengers, especially with the new Pop Deluxe set that came out in 2020, that I could have chosen one of those pops realistically, especially how cool the Iron Man is, but there's something about that Hulk smashing Loki that it's a memorable scene, and I think in Funko Pop form, it had turned out well. Moving on to 2013's Iron Man 3, the pop I had chosen is Deep Space Suit. Now, there were a lot of cool candidates for this lineup because we did have a regular Iron Man, we had an Iron Patriot, we even had War Machine, which is one of my favorite characters, but I felt that the Deep Space Suit pop was the best of this set just because of the way that they didn't have to incorporate the regular Funko Pop eyes. You can see with the Deep Space Suit pop that it has what normally you would see as terms to the mask. Moving on to 2013's Thor: The Dark World, the Funko Pop I had chosen is Dark Elf. Now, in the set, there were only 3 Funko Pops. We had the Dark Elf, we had a new version of Thor, and we had a new version of Loki. And now as I think about it, there might have been like a Thor with a helmet, but I felt that the Dark Elf was my favorite because it's uniquely different from the Loki and the Thor pops involved with the set. Moving on to 2014's Captain America the Winter Soldier, I had chosen the Winter Soldier Amazon exclusive pop that was recently released for the Year of the Shield set. I really do enjoy this pop. Originally, I was gonna go with the original Winter Soldier with the mask, but obviously with the recent release of this pop and how much detail has improved for this Funko Pop compared to when it first came out, it's just leaps and bounds better in my opinion. Next up is 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy, which the pop I had chosen is the glow-in-the-dark Star-Lord with Power Stone that was a Marvel Collector's Core exclusive. Now this was a really cool Funko Pop when it first got announced, and I think the way that Star-Lord looks is really cool. They did obviously have the wave in 2014 for when the movie came out, but once again, when it comes to detail, it was leaps and bounds better than the original ones. Plus the way they executed it, where this is the scene where Star-Lord is actually catching the Power Stone, and then like his body is just kind of like breaking apart as you see in that scene. I really enjoyed how they also added the purple glow-in-the-dark effect because it really pops out from the actual character. Overall, it looks cool non-glow-in-the-dark, but adding that glow-in-the-dark feature is just a nice added attention to detail. Up next is 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron, and I had chosen the Iron Man Unmasked pop. Now, there was the masked version that has this exact same posing where he's using kind of like the jetpacks from his hands to kind of elevate himself up, and it's used as a stand for the Funko Pop, but I really like the detail of Unmasked because you get to see the detail of how Robert Downey Jr. looks as terms to a Funko Pop, and I think even for a pop made in 2015, they executed the look of Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. very well as terms to the head sculpt. Up next is 2015's Ant-Man, and I had chosen the glow-in-the-dark yellow jacket. Now already there was a common version that wasn't glow-in-the-dark, but then this is an exclusive to, I can't exactly remember where it was, but I do like the fact that it glows in the dark because of the fact that yellow is actually a pretty cool color, glow in the dark. Overall, the detail of the character looks cool, and it goes back to what I mentioned about one of the pops earlier and how I like seeing pops that aren't the main characters as terms to a Funko Pop lineup. Up next is 2016's Captain America Civil War, and the pop I had chosen is the Target exclusive Battle Damage Crossbones. Now already both of the crossbones that are normally the masked version or the unmasked version are detailed, but when you kind of have both of the unmasked and the masked meshed together like this Funko Pop, I think it's really cool, and they did an excellent job with the way that this Funko Pop looks. Even though it is in that old Funko Pop style of the arms to the side kind of molding, I do like what they did with the head sculpt and why it's my favorite compared to just seeing a bunch of Captain America and Iron Mans for this set. Up next is 2016's Doctor Strange, and I had chosen the 2016 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Doctor Strange. Although there were some pretty cool detailed pops as terms of the set, I really enjoyed this OG Doctor Strange pop, even compared to a lot of the newer ones that were made for the recent movie. Up next is 2017's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and the pop I had chosen is the Emerald City Comic Con 2018 exclusive Yondu. Now I do really enjoy this Funko Pop because it is from one of my favorite scenes involved in the movie where Yondu has the arrow and he's flying down and he's basically yelling out, "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all." It's probably one of a lot of people's favorite moments as terms to the whole movie, and I do like this version of Yondu in Funko Pop form more than I did in the first movie that they made for him. Moving on to 2017 Spider-Man Homecoming, I had chosen the homemade suit Spider-Man. Now although there were some pretty cool candidates like the two versions of Vulture that we had for this set, and especially the Tony Stark that holds the Iron Man helmet, I really like this Spider-Man pop because it is very different compared to a lot of different Spider-Mans. I like the way that they executed in Funko Pop form and how you can tell that it's not really a professionally made Spider-Man suit, it was something homemade. Moving on to 2017's Thor Ragnarok, I had chosen the 10-inch Blacklight Hulk that was a Target exclusive. I really enjoyed this Funko Pop. I love the colors that are executed, the way they have the green, the blue, and the purple just really stand out, and especially kind of like the mohawk thing for the helmet and how it's also pink. So I really like like the use of colors in this Funko Pop. Up next is 2018's Black Panther, and I had chosen the Funko Hollywood exclusive T'Chaka. Now, there were a lot of Funko Pops to choose from this set, and especially because Black Panther is one of my favorite MCU movies, this was very difficult to do, but I do like the way that the helmet looks for the head sculpt, and especially the attire worn for T'Chaka. Up next for 2018's Avengers Infinity War, I have the GameStop exclusive Hulk busting out of Hulkbuster. Now, this is a little bit of a weird situation because I'm pretty sure this scene actually never made it into Avengers Infinity War, so when Funko had announced the wave of pops, this was already released by the time that the movie actually came out, and this ended up being a deleted scene, but it is a part of the set, so I had chosen this pop, and I really love the detail involved with Hulk, and then the way that the Hulkbuster is just kind of imploding as he's busting out of it. Next up is 2018's Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I had chosen the Wasp. I really like the detail involved with this, and it's not so often that we get a pop of Evangeline Lilly, who is known for playing as Kate Austen in the TV series Lost. Next up for 2019's Captain Marvel, I had chosen the glow-in-the-dark Goose Flurkin. Now, I really enjoy the way that this Funko Pop looks and how you can see the detail of the cat opening up its mouth, where you have kind of like the octopus kind of dealio going on, coming out of the mouth and having the Tesseract, I'm pretty sure it is, in its mouth, and I really enjoy that aspect. I think overall it didn't have to be glow in the dark, but it's cool anyways because you know that the Tesseract kind of gives off this glow during the MCU films. Up next is 2019's Avengers Endgame, and the pop I had chosen is the previews exclusive glow in the dark I Am Iron Man. I feel like this pop is probably everyone's favorite, or the majority of people's favorite pops as terms to this set. Maybe if not this pop, it would be the Captain America with the Jolnir. I think those are kind of the top two pops for that entire set, but this pop is just from a huge moment as terms to Avengers Endgame, probably a lot of people's favorite moments, which is why it would be a lot of people's favorite Funko Pops. It was essentially one of the most hyped pops as terms to the entire year when it came out it came out in 2020, and it was one of the most sold pops that Funko has ever sold, so that's why I think definitely it is the best pop for Avengers Endgame. Up next is 2019 Spider-Man Far From Home, and I'd chosen the glow-in-the-dark Molten Man. Now, at one point, I did own this Funko Pop, but I'd recently had given it away actually for a trade, and I do like the detail involved with the Funko Pop. It's one of those cases where I feel like the Funko Pop actually looks better than what the character looks like in the movie, which is why I enjoy it. I really like how that orange pops out, especially when you take a black light to it and you see how the glow looks. It looks great. Up next is 2021's Black Widow, and the Funko Pop I had chosen is Red Guardian. The way that Red Guardian looks is really, really cool, especially with the way that you have the helmet, you have the armor, and you have the shield involved with it. I think it really turned out well in essentially movie form instead of the way that Red Guardian looks in comic book form. Up next is 2021's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and the pop I had chosen is the 6-inch Great Protector. I really enjoy the detail involved with this pop, especially because the majority of this entire lineup, the pops were kind of like meh as terms of the posing and the way that they look, but at least with this one, with the amount of detail put into it, I do believe, and I think a lot of people would agree with me, that this pop would be the greatest pop as terms to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings set. Up next is 2021's Eternals, which the pop I had chosen, I think the character's name is Crow. This is kind of the same situation as I mentioned with Shang-Chi pops and how the posings aren't that great. The pops didn't really sell that well besides certain characters, and I believe that this pop was one of the more sold ones because of the amount of detail involved with this character, where you have the 4 different colored eyes, and especially the colors involved. It just looks really great. Up next is 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home, and the pop I had chosen here is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Now, technically, I'm kind of cheating on this because of the fact that Funko actually has not confirmed this on their social media platforms, but had confirmed it during a panel at SDCC. We do have photos that were shown from San Diego Comic-Con in which there was also a Doc Ock, but I know for a fact if I were to get one pop from this set, it would be a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, considering that's Spider-Man that I grew up watching. And I can't wait to see this in person because I feel like the actual pop, when it releases in person, is going to look fantastic. Up next is 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and the the Funko Pop I had chosen is the Chase version of Doctor Strange. I really like the way that this Funko Pop looks. It kind of looks like an artist series pop without even classifying it as an artist series pop because of the different designs going on with this. And I had recently finally watched this movie, but I actually for some reason don't remember a scene where this colorway of Doctor Strange would happen actually, but still cool anyways, and a lot of people were really hyped in terms of this Chase. Up next is 2022's Thor Love and Thunder, and the pop I had chosen is Thor on Chariot's Pop Ride. This is an excellent looking Funko Pop. A lot of people were really hyped. Even when the movie wasn't released yet, people were really hyped for this Funko Pop. The detail involved with the chariot, the, I guess, creatures that are pulling the boat there, and especially the way they have the water and how you can see the splashing from either the boat itself or the feet of the creatures. I think they did an excellent job, and this definitely is one of the best pops released so far for 2022. And the last movie we're going to discuss about is the upcoming 2022 Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie, in which the Funko Pop I had chosen is Namor. Now, I know with this set recently being announced, there's probably going to be more to be announced in the near future for this set as terms to Funko Pops, but as of right now, I do like what Namor looks like. I love the water base, I love the staff he's holding in his hand, and I do like the detail involved with just the overall character and the hair with the earrings and just the overall attire. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's video on me choosing the best Funko Pops from each MCU movie, make sure you smash that like button. Comment in the comment section below and let me know your favorite MCU Funko Pop. And as said in the little intro, make sure you press the subscribe button for more content like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching today's video and hope to see you guys next time. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here. Follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at A Funko Popcast. If you want to check out some of our other content that's featured on our channel, you can click either the playlist that's on your screen right now featuring previous episodes of our weekly podcast, A Funko Popcast, or we have suggested a video for you guys in relation to today's video.